Fox and Lillie's beginnings were forged prior to World War I, when 17-year-old Cyril Lillie began work as a trainee stock and station agent in Melbourne until he joined the army as a captain in 1914 to fight for Australia in World War I. After the war ended in 1918, Cyril took up a traineeship in the woolen mills of Bradford, which were renowned for producing some of the best cloth and fabric in the world at the time. Upon returning to Australia, Cyril joined W.M. Horton & Co. as a wool buyer, and he continued in this role until he rejoined the Army as a Lieutenant Colonel in 1939 at the outbreak of World War II. Following the war, Cyril resumed his wool buying career with Horton until he and fellow wool buyer Rhys Fox joined forces in 1948. Together with Cyril's 18-year-old son James Sr., they formed the company known as Fox and Lillie, principally focused on the supply of processed wool for the local Australian woolen industry. Scoured, carbonised and open tops became the stock and trade of this young business, and their focus on woolen system supply was very timely with the outbreak of the Korean War in 1950. The war created huge demand for wool, and this prosperous time allowed Fox and Lillie to quickly build foundation capital for the future. James Lillie soon became the principal wool buyer, and with the guidance of Cyril and Rhys, forged new relationships in wool-consuming countries all around the globe. Rhys Fox retired in the late 1960s, and his interests were acquired by Cyril and James, but out of respect for the strength of the partnership and of the friendship forged over the years, the Fox in our name was retained and remains to this day. In the early 1970s, Fox and Lillie established its first direct country buying operation and began to purchase rural property around Skipton, Victoria. At the same time, James's oldest son Jamie, then 20, joined the family business as James looked after the company's other interests. Jamie quickly assumed the senior trading and travelling role at Fox and Lillie. When he took over, Fox and Lillie's turnover was around 20,000 bales per annum, and in 1986 he was joined by his younger brother Jonathan Lillie. Wool during the late 1980s boomed, with prices reaching record levels under strong demand from Europe, Russia, India, and a new country which would soon become the powerhouse for the Australian wool industry, China. Fox and Lillie were amongst the first to trade with China and were pioneers in the development and sale of the early scouring types to China. However, the 80s wool boom ended abruptly in 1990 following the collapse of Communist Russia. With prices plummeting, the wool grower-funded Australian Wool Corporation, known as AWC, quickly acquired almost 5 million bales under the reserve price scheme. Soon after, the AWC ran out of funds and ceased to operate the reserve price scheme. The industry then went through many difficult years between 1990 and 2000, as it took more than a decade to gradually sell back the stockpiled wool to the industry. Although the 90s had its challenges, the Fox and Lillie wool business continued to expand. And with the big four Japanese trading houses closing their Australian wool divisions, a new door opened for the company. The vacuum left by the exit of the Big Four allowed Fox and Lillie to focus on developing trade in combing wools and particularly the greasy wool trade. Although new to Fox and Lillie, the move into combing wools proved timely, as many exporters lacked the capital required to finance the large volumes of combing wool required by the large Chinese, Indian and European processors. At this critical time in the wool industry, Fox and Lillie looked to diversify their business and invested in the aquaculture industry. Starting with one abalone farm in Portland, Victoria, Fox and Lillie's Yumbar business has grown to become the largest abalone farming enterprise in the Southern Hemisphere, with its 5 farms producing over 600 tonnes of premium grade abalone annually. Additionally, the group has invested in a premium blue mussel operation in Victoria, which produces 300 tonnes per annum. Fox and Lillie export, under the direction of Jamie, continued to grow its volumes and expand into new markets. At the same time, the direct buying division, now known as Fox & Lillie Rural and directed by Jonathan, broadened its focus from buying only and today offers the wool grower a full and diverse range of wool broking, direct buying, financing and wool marketing services. Fox & Lillie Rural now has multiple stores and wool marketing representatives located throughout Victoria, South Australia and New South Wales. Processing is in Fox & Lillie's DNA, and owning and operating scouring, carbonising and top-making facilities has been a big part of the business since the early days. In 2005, Fox & Lillie joined local investors to consider setting up a specialised open-tops factory in China. 1 year on, OTCL was born, and it is now an industry leader in high-quality open-tops throughout the world, which is a tribute to the efforts of its owners and management. OTCL is an important part of the Fox & Lillie story, with virtually all their open-tops wool produced at the plant. The Wool Export Division is the second largest buyer of Australian wool and a major buyer of wool from other countries. It processes wool in many different countries and exports all types of greasy wool and all types of processed wool to every wool-consuming country in the world. The Rural Services Division, through its extensive network of country facilities and experienced representatives, services the wool growers' every need throughout southeastern Australia. The successful integration of the two businesses is unique and provides important benefits to the company's wool grower clients and export customers alike. The link between the two companies sets the company apart from all others and brings the grower and the end user closer together than ever before. From its humble beginnings 70 years ago, the Fox & Lillie Group has grown into a substantial and diversified Australian agribusiness, turning over more than $400 million per year. Like any business, Fox & Lillie has faced many challenges throughout its history, but through a combination of integrity, resolve, foresight, innovative strategy and great staff, it has become the benchmark for the Australian wool industry.